So what's poppin' peons? It's your girl Sunshine and welcome back to the channel. You guys, I will be doing a get ready with me. I have a terrible toothache, you guys, like hell. Not gonna hold y'all. So if I'm not really up there, bitch, forgive me, okay? So you guys, we're gonna do a get ready with me while I prepare so I can actually record for today. Yeah, so I got on my favorite house dress, y'all. It's really giving house mommy of the century with the bonnet on. I'm a bad bitch in my bonnet, y'all. I wear this shit outside. It's giving very ghetto. Um, so let's get into the video right away. Let's go live it up, viva la loca, whatever. So yeah. Today while I do my get ready with me, you guys, I kinda wanna talk about some shit. It's okay to reevaluate your priorities. That's what I think. I think I'm gonna just kind of freestyle this get ready with me, and we just gonna talk about a plethora of shit that's on my mind. We're gonna let my mind run free today. So y'all, it's okay to let shit go that's not serving you no more. I think a lot of people constantly get in their head. They're like, oh, I can't let that go because if I let that go, then XYZ is gonna happen or whatever is gonna happen. And then they have like these really harsh conversations about things that don't matter. About things that don't matter. Um, fuck it. Just to keep it a whole lean being, if some shit is not working out for you, fucking make a plan to fucking leave. Stop sitting there and thinking that shit's gonna get better. If it's not getting better and you done tried your best and you done did everything that you could, bitch, fuck it. Sometimes you're the problem and you need to leave. And sometimes people don't know how to communicate that shit. Like, mind you, I have, I think some of my biggest problems that I have with people who don't like me is that they don't like me. And instead of them just saying, like, hey, it really stresses me out that you're around me and shit like that, they won't say things like that. Instead, they get really passive aggressive or they become nasty. I had a friend, a homegirl. We was friends for like I want to say about a couple of months, and she would do shit like that. So like, mind you, we be like chilling, right, living our best life. You know what I'm saying? And then she'll come out there, and then if a dude gave me attention, or if I was in a relationship, because I was, the moment I became out of a relationship, she was just so, oh my gosh, you know, whatever. And I ain't gonna hold you. When you going through a breakup, you don't want to hear, oh my gosh, like, look what your ex is doing. Because, bitch, that nigga just broke my motherfucking heart. Like, I don't give a fuck what you say. If you go through a breakup and it does not hurt, that means you've either mentally and emotionally checked out. But, bitch, you're going to feel some grieving. Like, even if you was ready for the relationship to end. But for me, myself, and I, she cared more about me and who I was dating, like romantically, and I thought that was really weird. Like I was a really good friend. I fucked with her because she was a caretaker. And bitch, when you a caretaker, bitch, when shit hit the fan, bitch, shit hit the fan like is what you call it. And I kind of applauded her for like being a good caretaker of her niece or whatever. So I didn't mind coming in playing fun friend who just like, all right, cool, like let's go to the grocery store, like let's go make some pizzas or whatever. Like, girl, I got it, trust me, I get it. Raising kids is hard. And this was back when I was like working like a 9 to 5. So mind you, we working 9 to 5 together. On our off days, she gotta be mom or whatever. She gotta come home to cook and do all these other things. So I get it. But it got to a point where she didn't like me anymore, right? Because I would call her out for her shit. Because, yeah, you're a good person and shit like that. But, bitch, if you're problematic, I'm going to say something. And I guess she didn't like that. So, I guess me calling her out, like, really made her feel some type of way. Because she felt like, okay, well, I'm trying my best. And, bitch, you can be trying your best, but there's also things that need to be improved on. If you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to talk about it today. But if we're going to be friends because there's certain things that she did that I didn't like, I feel like I should bring it up. So, mind you, excuse me, and that's the problem that I face with my family sometimes. Like, a lot of times my family, they'll get upset with me because they'll come out and they'll try these manipulation tactics, right? And they'll try, and the manipulation tactics that they try are so OD that when you hear about them, you're like, oh man, I don't really think that's manipulation. My family got excited, or some of my family members got excited because I finally posted my boyfriend on my social media. Y'all, ever since I posted my boyfriend on social media, a lot of my family members have come out the woodworks and was like liking the post and like telling me like congratulations on your relationship. And I'm like, bitch, you follow me on social media. Like you see me in my podcast. I don't get a congratulations on my podcast. I don't get a congratulations for the shit I do on YouTube. I don't get a congratulations for being a hard worker that I am, but you're happy that I'm in a relationship. As if dick was the end all be all. And it's not that I don't enjoy my partner, it's just that I don't want my whole life to be surrounded around if I could keep a man or not, or if a man wants to stay with me. Because it doesn't matter how much I love a man has to want to be here. Like, people always have these like real ass conversations that like, oh well, I don't really find it problematic, and it's okay, and we're all right, and as long as my partner's happy, and I'm just like, yeah, I want my partner to be happy too, but I also want to be happy too. And my relationship is not the end all be all, because I don't want my whole life to be surrounded by what a man can do for me and shit like that. And like, don't get it twisted. I fuck with my nigga. Like, 10 toes down. Like, that's my man. Like, my man is my man, and my man is gonna be my man to me always and forever. So when the conversations pop up, or there's these big, really heavy things that come around it, especially when we talk about relationships, there's always the part that makes people feel like, oh, as a woman, especially as a black woman, that your power lies in your relationship and if you can have a family. And for me, myself, and I don't want to have kids. Not right now, anyways. I want to get like to a certain place where I'm financially at, and then have some kids. And I know people are like, well, what happens if you get pregnant before then? Sayonara, see you next year. And I know a lot of y'all are like, oh my gosh, well, what would your partner think? My partner understands this shit. Like, my partner is a couple of years older than me, and I'm close to 30. So when people have these conversations with me and they're like, oh, well, you should do it at the time that you should be doing it before your ovaries dry up. My grandmother, at her big ass age, had a fucking child. And I get it. People are like, but it's harder to have a child at that age, and your body's not the same. Okay, and it's hard to have a baby now. I know one girl who lost two of her damn kids, right? And she needed a C-section. She had a healthy pregnancy, and she needed a C-section because something went wrong, because the stress of like actually pushing the baby out was hard, and her cervix wouldn't open up or whatever. So whatever wasn't opening up down there for her to push, she needed a C-section. They literally waited. They literally waited They literally waited to tell Shorty about. They literally waited to tell Shorty about her shit. So for me, myself, and I was just like, okay, cool. So like, if that's the case, you get what I'm saying? And we're being completely and utterly honest, why are we so hard on women who don't want to have kids? Because, and honestly, a lot of people die during birth. And if you don't die, there's postpartum depression. And people make fun of like being depressed. And I really, with it being mental health month, I really hate when people say shit like, oh my gosh, I'm so depressed. Look at me, I'm so sad. Because depression is more than sadness. Depression is like, sometimes, bitch, I don't feel like showering. Bitch, sometimes I don't feel like getting up. Sometimes it's hard for me to even start my day. Sometimes it's hard for me to regulate. And when people make fun of shit like depression and they're just like, oh, it's a joke. Yeah, I take everything so seriously. No, sometimes you have to take that shit seriously. Like, a lot of people joke about being depressed and being sad and things like that, and I'm just like, okay, well, do you know how depression shows up in black women? Do you know how depression shows up for you? Because depression for you might show up totally different than it does for me. Like, for me, because I have high functioning anxiety and depression, I can get shit done and still be depressed. other people may not be able to do that. And luckily, the luxury that I have during my depression, when I go through the season of depression, is that I don't have to worry about things like that. I don't have to worry about stressors and things like that. We before, when I had two boyfriends, one boyfriend one boyfriend was going through a depression because his mom, whatever, I'm not gonna talk about it, but whatever, he was going through depression. His depression looked totally different from mine, and just because he's a high functioning depressionist, whatever, doesn't mean that his high functioning depression looked like mine. He could be on the road. I don't even want to talk about it too tough. But like, when I say mental health matters, people often joke about it. And I'm like, while y'all sitting there joking about being depressed and sad and stuff like that, people are actually going through real shit. Like, I know some motherfuckers right now who can't afford a therapist and they need one. And I ain't talking about just like, oh, you need a therapist. Like, they genuinely need a therapist. And when they talk about it and there's conversations brought up about it, the conversation usually steers to, you need a therapist and you're the problem and all this other stuff. Like people want to be, as if people want to be broken. And the problem that I have with this conversation and how it usually goes is, they usually make it seem like people want to be angry, people want to be depressed, like people don't want to have because depression can show up as extreme agitation. So mind you, if you're depressed or you're sad or you're not happy with how your life is going or whatever it is that's causing you to have depression, it might show up totally different. So you might be able to do certain things, but you might not be able to take the truth, because the truth fucking hurts. And processing truth is a really big thing. I feel like a lot of people don't get credit for processing truth. And let me tell you something right now. When you're processing truth, and I put big emphasis on processing truth, there is this thing that people talk about, right? Because there is, before you can accept the truth, you have to acknowledge that there's a problem. And in order to acknowledge that there's a problem, you have to be extremely honest. And when you're being extremely honest with yourself, there's nowhere to hide. You don't get to say, okay, well, I didn't know this and I didn't know that. Because what you don't know hurts you in the end, and what you do know still hurts. So you still got to process all of that. So now, just because you found the root of the problem, now you have to go digging. Once you start digging, bitch, now you bringing up old wounds. And people talk about like, oh, facts over feelings. Bitch, your feelings help you perceive facts and see facts for what it is. Factually, in order to be a serial killer, you have to kill more than 3 people. How you feel about somebody killing more than 3 people, it still does not change the fact that it's a fact. The fact of the matter is, in order to be a serial killer, you have to kill more than 3 people. Period. Like, 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, bitch, now you're a serial killer. And 3 or more, bitch, now you're what you call it. So if you have more than 3 bodies on you, you are now technically a serial killer. If you kill 1 or 2 people, you not really a serial killer, you just a killer. But bitch, 3, and you can be a certain type of serial killer, and there's subgenres of that shit. That's the same way that it is in mental health. A lot of people like to joke around about being depressed and shit like that, and I'm just like, I really wish I would stop. Last night I had a nightmare, and I go hold y'all, I really had like a real ass nightmare. And a lot of people don't know this, but sometimes I get really bad nightmares, and they scare the fuck out of me, because I think I had a nightmare about me losing everything in real time and me not being able to make the move that I needed to protect my assets. And I know we're like, okay, well, that's not really scary. Like, let's go be for real. Like, what's a nightmare for you? I literally had a dream I lost everything in real time, and I couldn't do anything. Shout out to my boyfriend for calling my phone. And he used to call me on my cell phone. Late night, honey, whatever that nigga said in that song. But like, shout out to my boyfriend for calling me, because bitch, my body wanted to go back into the mode of the nightmare. And I was like, bitch, I'm not trying to be scared today. Like, I'm not trying to go there. Like, I'm not trying to be there, like, mentally and emotionally. Because if we're being completely honest, having a nightmare is nothing fun. Like, people, whoo, Chalet, I'm not even going to go deep down there. But it's like, I think people should stop joking about mental health, because mental health is a very big thing. My brother has depression, and I think he might have something else, but he's so afraid to go get diagnosed because it would basically mean that he's not perfect. And my whole thing is, nigga, you're never gonna be perfect. Like, you're never gonna be perfect. Like, no matter how much you try, you're never gonna be perfect. You could go out there today and try to be perfect, and you gonna fuck up some kind of way, because a lot of us are just fucking winging it through life, and we don't know everything. And I'm not saying that therapy is the route for you. People are like, okay, well, my ancestors didn't get therapy and they didn't need help. And yeah, because they were too busy being fucking traumatized. It's the reason why the cycle of trauma continues. For me, myself, and I said I didn't want to have kids until I was mentally and emotionally ready to have kids. I am getting closer to the point where I am mentally preparing. Like, mentally I'm prepared to have kids because I understand it, but emotionally I'm slowly getting to the part where where I'm emotionally able to have the capacity to take care of kids and myself. Because thinking about it, you have to, when you have children, whether you together or not together, co-parent, don't co-parent, you have to put the perspective in, what if my partner leaves me? What if something tragic happens and I become a single parent? What if I was to die? What type of emotional cadence would I have on my children? Will my legacy live on? What would they hold on to? These are a bunch of things that you have to prepare yourself for, because if you're not mentally in the mindset of, okay, well, family is important to me and I want to instill XYZ into my kids, or I want to do this. Like, mind you, I got a homegirl. I think I got a home. I know this one woman. Shout out to her. I'm not gonna put her business out there, but we're just gonna call it the Mother's Day podcast. She lost her mom, and I believe her mother either shared the same birthday or her mother died during that time, and so her birthdays are always sad for her. So mind you, every year on her birthday, she has to go through the thing of her mother not being there, right? So when she's really going through it, when I say she's really going through it, like, she really goes through it. So every year for her birthday, even though we're not like, kumbaya, bitch, let's go get a drink together, I always tell a bitch, like, hey girl, I hope you have a good birthday. You really do it. I try to encourage her. Why? Because, bitch, sometimes people need a pick me up. Life is already hard. You don't have to be kumbaya buddy buddy with a bitch to go extend courtesy, to extend kindness out. And I think because I've actually been Baker acted before, and that experience, like, kind of shook me a lot to my core. Like, a lot of people talk about, like, what's the moment that made you Baker acting myself. I literally got out 3 days before my birthday, and for my birthday, it was not everything that I wanted it to be, but I was just happy to be out. I went, I bought myself a dress. Um, I finished my wig because it wasn't done. I finished my wig. I did a lot of things just to get back to normalcy. I can tell y'all the horrors, but y'all can literally go on my YouTube channel, and it's a video called "I Baker Acted Myself," and I talk about the experience there. And yeah, even though I was favored and nothing really bad happened to me too tough, or they couldn't do anything bad to me because I was able to get out before they had the chance to, like, kind of keep me there and start treating me bad like everybody else or whatever, because they realized that, one, I was not Hispanic and racism still exists. And I'm not saying that everybody is, but the place that I was at, they were very much so, if you're not Hispanic, you're getting treated like shit. So since they thought I was a Afro Latina or whatever, they literally were being nice to me. Once they found out that I was not Afro, that I was not a Latina or a Hispanic, them motherfuckers tried to dope me up so quickly. Them motherfuckers was like, oh no, she's not okay. They even misdiagnosed me, which fucked me up on my return back to work. And when people talk about like mental health and shit like that, people are like, well, you said you were this and they said you were that. Okay, people lie on paperwork. People lie on paperwork, especially when they're in a position of power. And if you see how many malpractices that people have actually gotten from doing shit like that, or how many therapists have been caught doing shit like that on the low without them even fucking knowing, and them actually finding out that they're actually on some shit right there, that's when they get their shit together. I had one therapist who tried to fuck me. And I know you're like, oh wow, it's probably because you're a hoochie and you probably dress like this. As a fucking professional, if you don't have any self control, you don't need to be in a position of anybody's livelihood in life, because people come to you for help. Like, mind you, when I bake rated myself, I went there because I needed help, not to be fucking medicated. If I tell you I'm a holistic, or that eating meat hurts my stomach, and the only thing that you have in the facility that you are gonna give me, because I'm not the preference of how you want to, of people who you respect or whatever, and you're giving me fucking meat, right? Because I told one nurse asked me, she was like, why are you not eating? And I was like, I said, I'm not eating because eating meat hurts my stomach. She said, I don't know why they didn't give you the food platter for X, Y, and Z, because we actually have it and it's actually hard to get rid of. And she was like, we get a donation, not a donation. She was like, we get funding for X, Y, and Z and stuff like that. So mind you, she took care of me. That was the only person in there who did not look at me and change her behaviors towards me. And she kind of told me like how to get out of there, because she realized that they were misdiagnosing me and trying to get me drugged up, because the more drugs they can put you on, the more money they make. And I know a lot of people aren't going to tell you this, because they're like, oh, well, if you were never really crazy to begin with and you didn't have that breakdown, nobody would be able to do that to you. And I'm just like, bitch, breakdown or not, I still want to be treated like a fucking human being. I still want to be treated like a fucking person. And when we sit there and we talk about like, oh, if you weren't like this or if you weren't like that, then this wouldn't happen, you basically give people credit. You basically say that, oh, because you are less powerful, or because you decided to go get help, now it's this, is that, and the third. And I think that, yes, going to therapy did help me a lot. It helped me realize when people are gaslighting me, helped me realize when people were professionally gaslighting me. It helped me realize when people didn't do what they were supposed to do and then they tried to fix things at the last minute. So that's how I can identify passive aggressiveness. That's why I have a problem with people when they get into power and they don't do what they're supposed to do. Because I don't give a fuck what position you sign up for, bitch. If you sign up for a position of power and you misuse your power and you don't do right by the power that's given to you, I feel like you deserve jail time. Like when I see those videos of police officers like doing shit they're not supposed to do, and I have a godfather who is a police officer, I still stand on the same shit I say. I really feel like these motherfuckers should get their ass, put in jail, underneath the jail, if anything, cause now as a civilian, you know that, cause if you wasn't in this position of power, you be scared of the shit that you was doing to you. And people will constantly say shit like, oh no, I wouldn't be scared because I wouldn't do anything. You know damn well that I feel like there's good and bad in a lot of shit. And I think that a lot of people, when they talk about the bad, bring up the good, but we have to bring up the bad. Like, in my community, it's some shit that's fucking amazeballs that happens in the community. And it's some shit that's not as equally as amazing, and that if we talked about it publicly would make us look bad. And it's the same shit in the Caucasian community. It's the same shit in um I live in a predominantly Caucasian state right now, right? And with me living in a predominantly Caucasian state, I was watching World's Worst Evil Killers, right? And bring you back to the statement where I said that it takes 3 kills for you to be considered a serial killer, 3 or more kills to be considered a serial killer. One of them is in the top 10 of the decade, right? I want to say they declared the place that I stay at, the predominantly white Caucasian place that I stay at, that they were at least in 3 of them. They weren't in the top 5, but they were in the top 10. And if you see the whole series of World's Worst Evil Killers, bitch, you'll see that they had people with shotguns who was just coming out there just shooting niggas. You'd realize that, like, bitch, so when you think about it, they have their own community. And the killers were actually Caucasian. They try to distinguish it. This Irish man, and no, bitch, he's still Caucasian. Like, the way this man identifies as is Caucasian. And just because you put a little sign of just separation in between, it does not take away from the fact that this is a Caucasian man who felt some type of way. Because when they got his diaries and his journals, right, they found out that this man did not consider himself to be anything other than that, and a lot of his victims were his other counterparts, and he considered himself to be like a Robin Hood type nigga. I can't remember the name of the killer, so please don't fucking, please don't ask me, okay? He considered himself to be the Robin Hood, right? And he had talked about in his diary and his journal entries, because they used it for evidence. They found out that he had beef with his community, and he didn't like the way his community was treating people. So the same way that they treated minorities is the same way that he treated them. And he would sit there and laugh at the murders that he had committed, that his community was complaining about, because the community was like, well, we try to keep it safe or whatever. And he's like, he was like, so mind you, I went to a bar up here recently, and in the bar I told them about a place, right, and they knew exactly what I was talking about, and they began to laugh about it because they thought it was funny. The same way that they laughed and they dismissed it like, oh man, it's just a regular day in the neighborhood, he would laugh at things like that in their neighborhood. It's 11:22 on my clock. He would laugh at things that's like that was happening in his neighborhood like that. And people would be like, oh, so you find it funny? And he was like, and then he would bring it up like, I don't know, you have to read it. But basically, he had like him and a team of niggas, white people, that was killing other white people. So when we talk about issues in communities, it's not just a black on black thing, it's a white on white thing. You kill what's in proximity to you and how you feel, an emotional henceforth the heat of passion arguments. Like if you walk in and you see your partner cheating on you and you shoot and you accidentally kill somebody, heat of the passion, yeah, still going to jail. Yeah, still going to jail, but probably not as long, because it probably wasn't intentional, or but when we talk about things like that and our own issues, we have to really talk about the good and the bad. So when I say something, it's not for you to overly amplify the good and ignore the bad, because you could be a good provider but a bad emotional labor person to go to. So like, mind you, before I was in therapy, I used to be a good person, right? I'm still a good person. But just because I thought I was a good person didn't mean that all my actions were screaming, this bitch is a good bitch, she wouldn't hurt anybody, because she doesn't have it in her to do so. My actions were screaming, I think I'm a good person and I don't feel like I do any wrong. It wasn't until I got into therapy where I had to learn boundaries and respect and other things. So even though in my heart of hearts I felt like, oh, I was a good person because I did this and I did that and I did this, I was so selfish, like not in a good way, not selfful, but like selfish in a way that it was not beneficial to others around me. So if something didn't go my way or somebody didn't do what I wanted to do, I would be like, fuck you, you don't get to have my time and my attention in my day, and you don't deserve this. And like, I would spaz out. And it's nothing against my family, but that's the technique that I had learned from my family. So like, as long as the intent is good, it doesn't matter how I treat you. So like, mind you, I learned this from my grandparents. So my grandparents used to have the nice, nasty type of attitude, right? So, and I'm talking about not it's one of my grandparents, but they have like this nice, nasty attitude, and because they're Christian, they always say like, "Oh, Jesus loves you, so I love you too," right? And I'm like, bitch, show tomorrow. Yes. So yeah. So my whole thing is. So my whole thing is Singration. Nigga, I got it. I'm gonna do it for you. Damn. Leave me alone. I said yes, Negro. Damn. Said yes. I got you. So basically I got like this nice nasty attitude. So mind you, this is when I was like heavily Christian and judgmental, and this is why I had to deconstruct my faith. Right? And mind you, deconstructing my faith and going to therapy, I needed a non-spiritual person because Dios mío, saca linda. I got it. I got it. And I love you. A little busy, but I will. If I can. All right. So going back to the so going back to what I was saying. So when I started deconstructing my faith, because to me, I didn't like feeling nice nasty. So if y'all don't know what nice nasty is the thing that Christians do. And I don't know if Christians do it, but I found it a lot in the church that I was growing up in. They would pretend to be nice to you, only to use you up, and then once they were done using you, they go back to talking about you like a dog. So mind you, my grandmother had that policy. So like, if so anything that she did not agree with, she do that. So this Thanksgiving, my grandmother, she came and she did the nice nasty shit, right? So mind you, my grandmother found out that I'm not Christian anymore, right? And mind you, I was thinking about going back to like studying it for myself and like kind of figuring out what I wanted to do. My grandmother made me not want to do it because she came out and she was like, "You're not good enough for God." And I was like, "Bitch, this is why I left the church to begin with." And people like to tell you like, "Oh, well, I never experienced that in the church," because you're probably the person that was doing it. And they're like, "But if you can't accept that, it's the people, not God." And I was like, "Bitch, but you're saying that you're godly. You're saying that you have this real close connection with God. So if you don't see how that can affect somebody's outlook on how they want to perceive the church, and you say, okay, well, I never had to experience that, or okay, well, you just need to suck it up," you can't take away from what you call it because it's, oh, you don't want to take it. No, bitch. Of course I want to take accountability. I can't go through life without taking accountability. And I feel like a lot of people use that mentality to make others feel small. And I'm just like, a lot of y'all need to go to therapy because a lot of y'all are nice and nasty with y'all shit. And y'all really start projecting. After I decided I didn't want to be nice nasty like my grandmother or shit like that, or my family, because my family only cares about me if I'm in a relationship with somebody. And for me, myself, and I was going through an identity crisis, and I was like, I'm not just the girl in relationships. So for me, myself, and I took a break from dating. Like, a lot of people don't know it, but I literally took a break from dating. Like, dating, like, to be with somebody, I literally took a break from that. And I just started fucking. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, why would you start fucking? I thought you wanted love." And yes, bitch, I could want love too. But if I know that I'm not there, I'm going to go fuck with niggas who just want to fuck me and I can leave. Reason being is because, bitch, I need to figure out myself. And, bitch, I like to fuck. And as much as I like to fuck, bitch, I know it's somebody else who just want to fuck me and be about their motherfucking day. And I know a lot of times we say it's not respectable to have a motherfucking booty call. But bitch, if your booty call is your booty call and you and your booty call just link up and fuck and be on y'all fucking merry ass way and y'all ain't playing this whole relationship shit, or there's not too much shit getting exchanged except for just dick and fucking STD results and shit like that, bitch, I feel like, bitch, go ahead and do it. And that's if you fucking raw. And bitch, I feel like even if you're not fucking raw, I feel like you should still know what that motherfucker got. Bitch, when I went through my deconstruction phase of the church and figuring out who I was as a person, bitch, I found autonomy in myself, and I realized, like, bitch, I realized that for me, myself, and I, like, when I started to find myself and started going to therapy and shit, I realized that I don't like relationships. And I know you're like, oh, but you're in a relationship now. I don't like pointless relationships. I feel like the greatest relationship that you can have in this world is with yourself. And if you out here in these streets and you're not happy with you, why the fuck would you want to be with somebody else? Like, let's be so fucking for real. If you're not happy with where you are at and the growth that you're making and who you are as a person, right? And the things that you do, why are you not showing up for yourself? Why are you trying to bring somebody else into the fold of your life? My whole thing is, I've never been the type of person to be like, oh, well, I don't think you bitches should date. No, bitch, if you feel like you're ready to date, go out there and date. But let's be fucking realistic. If you don't like the fact that, bitch, you get jealous easily, you shouldn't be with somebody who's popping. You should be with somebody who's equally as insecure as you. So you can see how you look to the outside world. Because my whole thing is, people be having a shit ton of fuck shit going on with them, and then they start to project and put out there. And instead of fucking dealing with the shit that's going on with them, they like to project. My family projects on me so much, a lot, that if it's not immediate family, bitch, I do not give a fuck. And it's very few people outside of immediate family that I would give a fuck about. Like, it's like I got one cousin who I fucking check on regardless, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I check on this nigga every couple of months. And not only do I check on him every couple of months, bitch, I even go in there and I go talk to my grandmother. And me and this lady ain't talk in forever. And I literally sit there and I have dead ass conversations with her. And I literally have conversations with her just to make sure that just to make sure that my baby is okay. And mind you, I got into gaming not because I wanted to, but because I needed to connect with one of my cousins on a deeper level. Cause bitch, I knew for a fact that I liked to game when I was younger. He likes to game when he was younger. He's into Dragon Ball Z, bitch. I'm into Naruto. It's fun because the banter, because that's his personality. He likes the banter and shit, but it's respectful banter, so it's not like, oh man, you dumbass bitch, you're wrong. And the nigga's a gentle fucking soul. I've literally been baked out of my fucking mind, and I was like, shit, I haven't talked to my baby to check in on him. And this is when I left the family, and I left the family back in 2020. So yeah, 3 years I still been checking up on this man. And I think out of 3 years, me and this man I've checked up on this man, I want to say at least about 15 times. And I know we're like, okay, well, you don't check up on him every month, because the nigga don't need checking up every month. And if I felt like he needed checking up on every month, I will personally make it a big deal to go down there. But no, he does not, because he's in fucking therapy and they're actually doing right by him. And they know for a fact that, bitch, if I gotta go out there and hustle and sell and do whatever it takes to get this motherfucking money, that's what the fuck I'm going to do. So honestly, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, mental health is equally as important, because a lot of times we sit there and we say things, we joke about like being sad and depressed and shit, right? But the people who are actually going through depression don't even know that they're going through depression, because one, they don't have either resources to do it. Two, they haven't found a therapist that works for them. And when you go out there and get help, bitch, it's gonna be hard. Nobody's gonna give a fuck about how the fuck you feel. I think a lot of people constantly forget that, bitch, you're human. And I think a lot of people don't put into effect or play like, bitch, if I'm human and I have feelings, right? And how I feel, it matters to me. When other people are living their lives and they're doing the shit that makes them happy, it makes them mad because they like, okay, well, shit, I'm not happy, so you don't deserve to be happy. Well, I haven't smiled since such and such, and you sit back and you be like, ain't nobody stopping you from smiling. Ain't nobody stopping you from what you calling. And then I'm not saying practicing gratitude or going to therapy is gonna make everything all right, because some shit's not gonna be all right. This is why I wish that people would stop forgiving that you have to forgive in and everything. I got one uncle right now who purposely tried to kill me. I'm never going to forgive that man. You can say, okay, well, that was such a long time ago. He's a changed man. Bitch, that man tried to end, press, delete, alt, delete, not even self-destruct. The man tried to fucking kill me and told me that he wanted me to die. I don't have to forgive that shit. I don't have to be like, okay, well, he said that he was sorry. No, bitch, I don't have to forgive that shit. My grandmother told me I was not good enough for God. Last year, Thanksgiving, I don't have to forgive that shit. I don't have to tell that bitch Happy Mother's Day. I don't have to do none of that shit, because according to her, I'm going to hell regardless. So apparently religion is more important than the relationship that we have together. She started talking about how she has a cycle of abuse that she keeps on going. And this is a woman who does certain things that, bitch, you shouldn't be practicing a cycle of abuse, especially when it comes down to this, because we don't need you gaslighting children or the people who you work with or who you're helping with, telling them that abuse is okay, because you fucking do it. And I'm telling you right now, therapy cannot fix the narcissist or the abuser if they don't want to fucking take accountability for their shit. And at the end of the day, if you deal with somebody like that, or you have somebody like that that's in your circle, or it's people who are being passive aggressive or angry with you or don't want to do shit like that, the best thing you can do is let them fucking live and sit and simmer in their shit and think that you dead ass wrong. And stop arguing with people all the fucking time and really take control of your shit. Bitch, if you can't afford better help, because therapy is expensive, bitch, they have free sadness hotlines, right? They have techniques that you can use, bitch. Journal. It is mental health month, right? And I know a lot of people who lost their parents. Some lost their parents literally by death. Like they parents had like an accident or some shit happened to them where they died. And I know some people who don't fuck with their parents on Mother's Day or Father's Day or any other holiday, because their parents just don't give a fuck about how they do, and they just care about more about the image that they put out to the world. A lot of y'all are sitting there saying, okay, well, these people should be feeling this, these people should be feeling that. No, bitch, these people are practicing emotional intelligence, and there's different steps and stages in it, bitch. I forget how many steps it is, but first you gotta identify the shit. And in order to identify the shit, you have to really fucking feel it, and instead of fucking running from it and saying that's just the way it is, you have to literally sit there and say, this is the way it is, but this is how it's making me feel. This is how it's affecting me. I know that racism exists in the world, but guess what? Just because racism exists in the world, I have to figure out where I fit in the scale, and I have to be able to push through that shit. Because socially acceptable, like I'm telling y'all right now, societally speaking, it's some shit that I know that as a black woman, if I wanted to do, a bitch is gonna look at me sideways. And I know it's some shit that if another woman did of another could do it totally different. The trans community has it totally different from cisgender women. Trans women get fucking shitted on twice as hard as cisgender women, and especially if they're of color and not Caucasian or look like they can pass for Caucasian. Bitch, you're going through fucking hell. I've seen it. And that's just how it is socially. So, bitch, when we talk about mental health and therapy, bitch, I don't give a fuck if you gotta find you a therapist. I don't give a fuck if you gotta journal it out, bitch. But let's go really take like a real deep dive into what we are doing. Cause every year, like, mind you, I was talking to my partner. I was like, I gotta record for Mother's Day, and I don't really feel like recording for Mother's Day because I still haven't gotten over the fact that last year I found out that my grandmother died on Valentine's Day. And last year's Mother's Day, I literally cried. Because nobody told me that my grandmother had passed away. And I had been talking to the person who knew that my grandma had been passed away for months. And I was asking about her for months. I was like, how is And you know they kept on telling me, oh, she's fine. She's doing well. She's okay. And come to find out, motherfuckers don't call me, ask me for money. They asked me for a lot of shit. But you know what they did not tell me? They didn't tell me that my grandma had passed away. Every fucking holiday. Every holiday. I make sure I get my grandparents. Because I get it. You know what I'm saying? My grandparents taught me a lot of shit. I get my hustle mentality from my grandparents. I get my autonomy from them, especially the fucking women. But to find out on Valentine's Day that my grandfather passed away, and my grandmother, and knowing that my grandmother had a long battle with a lot of shit, and nobody told me about it, but everybody was telling me, ooh, shit, about family drama, and asking for money, and help, and getting mad because I was saying no. And then as a final resort on Valentine's Day, out of all the motherfucking days when I was in the process of going through a breakup, right? With this one dude, cause he didn't want to commit. And he didn't want to do all this other shit. And I had to go through all of that shit. And I had to be the bad guy, the villain, at work, at home, with the family, everything else, just to find out that my grandmother fucking passed away on Valentine's Day, bitch. That was just the icing on the cake. Bitch, Depression City, here we come. I wasn't myself for fucking months. And people were like, oh, you just seem really quiet. Y'all, a lot of my content from last year, if there is any content after my grandmother had passed away, is fucking me being a sad ass bitch and functioning and making shit work out. Y'all, that was the month that I fucking drank my whole heart out. I literally had to go call my aunt, and I was like, auntie, I don't really know how to deal with this shit, and I don't know how I feel about it. And my auntie said, you gotta feel what you gonna feel. And I said, is it still supposed to hurt months after? And the shit still hurt. And the shit still hurt because how I found out. Going to my therapist that my partner helps me pay for every now and again. Because my partner doesn't pay for my therapy. I have to pay for my therapy. I have to go. I still pay for my shit. Because it's my shit. I literally sat there and I talked to my therapist about it. And recently, I haven't seen my therapist like that because a bitch can't afford her. She done went up on her prices, and I understand why she went up on her prices. But my therapist literally told me, my therapist said I ain't got to move on from a fuck thing if I don't want to. My therapist said that growth is a choice. Not only that growth is a choice, but bitch, you gonna have to get your shit together at some point in time. And she said you have to accept for shit for what it is. And she said if the shit hurts so bad that you can't even sit there and pretend like it don't hurt, she say don't fucking pretend. She say fucking embrace that shit. And mind you, when we hear things like, oh, just embrace the pain is a part of life. Without pain, there would be no growth. But bitch, if something hurts, bitch, something hurts. Go to fucking therapy, bitch. If you don't like your mama, you can say that shit. I hate my mother. On Mother, bitch, say it on Mother's Day if it makes you feel better. My mother's done so much emotional damage to me. This hurts. My family did this. This happened to me and this hurts me. I know that this is a fact, but this is how this made me feel, and I don't like feeling this way, so I decided to work on myself. Bitch, nobody's going to blame you for working on yourself. I know a lot of times we get scared because people say like, oh, you shouldn't love yourself, you shouldn't practice self-love. Nah, bitch, practice that shit. Self-love looks like some shit that motherfuckers don't even know how to do because most motherfuckers don't even love themselves enough to know when some shit is wrong with them. But I've seen motherfuckers literally come out there in the woodworks, out in the world, and say some heinous ass shit, and you can tell they don't love themselves, cause they so worried about getting in contact with other people. And yes, you can love somebody from your own hurt, but bitch, why don't you love yourself? Cause I promise if you practice self love before you practice loving other people, you'll be able to deal with other people when you understand that, bitch, sometimes it's not you. Sometimes a motherfucker is just projecting because it's easy to do. And I can tell you right now, I've projected. Yes, I have. So I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. The other day when I was going to like wash some shit or whatever, I was talking to my brother, and my brother was on the phone with one of my other brothers. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a good sister to the nigga. Why? Cause bitch, I was depressed. Didn't know I was fucking depressed, and I was fucking projecting. My brother literally said, and I literally thought the nigga didn't want to talk to me. Oh God, oh my mama, I thought the nigga didn't want to talk to me. The nigga literally stopped and said, "You don't sound like you're as angry as you used to be." And he said, "I'm proud of you." Oh boy, my little heart began to fucking crack. Cause y'all, the shit I did to this man. Oh my gosh, y'all talking, y'all women say they don't hurt niggas, bitch. I was hurting this nigga's feelings, and I knew I was. I knew I was hurting this nigga's feelings because the nigga was hurting my feelings. When you were up with a motherfucking sibling rivalry, bitch, and you can't stand that motherfucker can't stand you, bitch, y'all did a whole bunch of shit. Honestly, a part of me wanted to tell him like, look, shorty, I'm sorry for all that shit I did. Cause I ain't gonna hold you. The nigga used to try to fight me, bitch, and I used to fight the fuck back, bitch. So when people talk about like, oh, you can't fight, bitch, I choose not to fight. Cause if I really wanted to beat some motherfucking ass, bitch, I could beat some motherfucking ass. Bitch, I've been short my whole entire life. All my brothers are either taller than me or close to coming taller than me, bitch. And bitch, if we go to toe, bitch, a nigga better catch me off guard. That's all I'm gonna say. Cause if a bitch catch me on guard, I'm in a ass. Okay, I'm in a ass. I'm totally in a ass. It's the risk. It's the reason. It's the reason why I don't fight no more. It's the reason. It's the reason why I don't put my hands on people no more. It's a lot of shit that goes on. So when I'm having these conversations and I'm saying like, bitch, go to therapy, bitch, go to therapy. And it's not a fucking insult, and it's not a dig at y'all. Like every time I tell a nigga who's not ready to go to therapy or face his demons that he need to go to therapy, like, nah, I'ma just hit the gym. Bitch, you gonna be big as hell and still mad as fuck about some shit. Just cause you was living it up, bitch, does not mean that it's gonna take away from your mama issues that you got. I know a nigga right now with 7 baby mamas because he got mama issues, right? And now at his big ass age of 40, because I was in therapy when we were dating. At his big ass age of fucking 40, and I say big ass age of 40 because, and this is our joke, so whatever, bitch. You're not a spring chicken no more. Maybe to the people who's in the grave and shit like that, baby, you don't live, but you coming up on close to half a motherfucking century, bitch. He decided to go to therapy, and now, at his big ass age, he's realized that having all them damn kids with all them women and not committing to them and not doing everything that he was supposed to do, like, for real, has caused an everlasting effect on his kids. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm kind of proud of you for doing that. Some of his kids don't want to fuck with him. Some of them do. The kids that want to fuck with him, he like, you know what? I get it. The kids who don't, he like, you know what? I get it too. Because daddy was an asshole. Daddy ain't respect your mama. Daddy ain't respect you. Daddy was a bitch. Daddy did a lot of fuck shit, right? And these are things that he has to admit as a man that he didn't want to admit. Like, bitch, nobody wants to admit that they fucked up their kids. But he had to admit it. He also had to admit some shit. And he had to go do some shit. So guess what? In therapy, you learn how to fix things that can be fixed if they can be fixed. And if they can't be fixed, bitch, you just SOL. And that's okay. And it teaches you how to fucking move forward and how to go and how to deal with some shit. Because I'm telling you right now, it's some family that I won't make up with regardless if it was hell on earth, bitch. If it was heaven and hell and they was like, oh, this shit's for real, you gotta forgive such and such if you want to go here, bitch, I'm not forgiving another thing, because even in the Bible it says that forgiveness is what? Optional. And even in the Bible, Jesus didn't even forgive fucking the people once they was crucified. He said, Father, you forgive them. He said, Father, you forgive them. Jesus ain't say at that moment, I forgive those niggas right there. No, Jesus said, Father, you forgive them. Putting the forgiveness task on somebody else, because Jesus ain't have it in his ass to fucking forgive them niggas. And you can say, oh, well, Jesus did this, and he died on the cross for our sins, but that didn't mean that man wanted to do that shit. That man said, Father, you forgive him. And I know we like to say, well, context. Bitch, even in the Bible, it says, if my people, bitch, my people, that means we have to be on the same fucking wavelength at some type of way. It means we have to be connected, bitch. If you break connection, bitch, if my people, that means we're not people anymore. So, bitch, I don't have to forgive you. And my therapist told me that shit. My therapist says you don't have to forgive your fucking family for the shit they did. If it hurt you, bitch, it hurt you. If something happens to you and it changes your perspective on a lot of shit, and you go to start changing on some fuck shit, and now the person you were, you can't be no more because some shit like that, bitch, I won't forgive a fuck thing. You forgive what the fuck you want to forgive. You tell people how to treat you, and if they don't want to treat you that way, fuck them. I would have a bitch be upset with me all fucking day. I'd rather be at peace with myself than be out of peace with myself and have somebody else be happy because they have control issues or whatever it is they have that they need to fucking deal with. And they be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna speak to you. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna. Fine, do as you fucking please. If it makes you happy to see me in pain, bitch, smile. If I'm a menace and it hurts your feelings that I'm not exactly what you, bitch, smile. Bitch, when I'm down bad and you see me down bad and it makes you happy, bitch, it's okay. Some people, they said, bitch, if I see you down bad, I laugh my ass off. Bitch, laugh away. You deserve that shit. Cause I have not always been the fucking perfect person. I haven't always been a good person. And most of the times when I thought I was being a fucking good person, bitch, I was terrible. I didn't have no boundaries. I didn't have no respect. Bitch. Only time I had boundaries is when it came down to me. And guess what? And that's a hard pill to swallow, bitch. Sometimes you're the problem. Sometimes the thing that's stopping you from growing is you. Sometimes your own bias and preferences are stopping you from fucking growing and going to the places that you need to. Sometimes in life you need to fucking compromise. Sometimes you gotta realize, like, bitch, I'm not gonna be right. Sometimes you gotta realize, like, bitch, I fucked up. And I have nobody else to blame but me. And if your first instinct to do is to go project on somebody else or to be a fucking menace and to go reclude yourself, go to therapy. Go get some help, bitch. And if you can't afford it, journal that shit out. Pray about it. Whatever you need to do. My journey to therapy and getting better help for myself did not come from me coming out the woodwork saying shit like, well, I'm mighty glad that a motherfucker know not to play with me. No. Motherfuckers gonna play. Motherfuckers gonna play with you regardless if they feel like you need to be respected, regardless of whatever. A motherfucker is always gonna play in your face. Why? Because that's what motherfuckers do. Some people are just like that. And guess what? It's nothing that you can do except for work on your damn self. This is why I say that everybody needs to go to therapy on their own. This is why I say people need to figure out who the fuck they are. Like, mind you, I'm an ambivert. Right? My personality type is an ambivert. Meaning that I could be an introverted extrovert, I could be an extroverted introvert. Either way it goes, bitch, I'm both. I'm a mix of both, bitch, okay? So for me, myself, and I don't have a problem being social. But I don't have a problem with being by myself. So the people who are fucking ambivert, for the people who are fucking extroverts, bitch, they have a problem being by themselves sometimes. For the people who are introverts, they have a problem with connecting with people sometimes because they don't, that all plays a part, right? Because bitch, if I have if I'm an extrovert, if I was just extroverted, bitch, alone time would fucking kill me. Not having a group of people around me would fucking kill me. I'm not a people's person. I'm not. I'm really not. And I realized that, like, even though I'm an ambivert, I'm not a people's person. I'm not. I'm, as much as I would like to be a people's person, I'm not a people person. Meaning that a lot of shit that people do gets on my nerves, a lot more times than not. So when people do stupid shit, it pisses me off. It really does. And like my patience for the area or the environment goes down from 10 to a fucking 0. Like that is the fastest way for me not to want to fuck with you ever again in life. And that's just me. I hate stupidity. So for me, myself, and I, bitch, I might have a different trigger from you. So stupidity might not be no big deal, but bitch, stupidity to me is fucking like one of the cardinal sins, bitch, that we do not fucking do. Assholes, people with fucking control issues, bitch, me and them don't get along that well. Why? Because they want to control everything. And bitch, sometimes, bitch, if I did my best and the shit's not popping up how it's supposed to, I can't get mad at the fucking results. All I can do is just try to figure some shit out. And if it's not good enough, it's just not good enough. But if you don't ever tell me that's not good enough for you, and you don't want to fucking bitch, I'm not finna go there with you because I understand that it's gonna be one-sided, and I refuse to have a conversation with somebody who's emotionally unintelligent. And I'm not saying I have the most emotional intelligence, because bitch, I struggle with it, but I know enough to know that bitch, when a bitch is giving me a cold shoulder, bitch, I'm not finna go sit there and go chase after that shit. I'm not. I got a homeboy right now. His mom died last year around the time of Mother's Day. I know this year Mother's Day is gonna whoop his ass, cause he been on the road, he been traveling, he been doing some shit. I got another homegirl who lost her mom. Her birthday is the last day of April, I believe, and that's literally 2 weeks after, bitch. So I know for a fact the bitch gonna feel it in her heart. I know a homegirl right now who her mama don't even fuck with her like that, and her mama fucking done did some heinous shit to her, and she done forgave her mama and shit, but her mama still ain't close. I know some bitches. I know some bitches who some real bad bitches. But if you put family in the equation, these bitches will crumble under pressure because they fuck with family. So when we have these conversations about mental health and, oh well, that's your mama, and that's, shut the fuck up. Everything is not so black and white, and until your ass get in a therapy chair and you realize that shit ain't black and white, and it's some shit that you gonna have to do, and you gonna use some techniques wrong. Cause bitch, I ain't gonna hold you. When I first started my healing journey, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be gone. I'm gonna say this. When I first started my healing journey, my therapist introduced me to a lot of tactics to, you know, process shit. And when you find a new process and you do it and it works for one situation, just because it works for that one situation doesn't mean that it rolls over and goes into other situations. Learned that shit the hard way. I was sitting there one day and my therapist had taught me some shit. My therapist taught me that you should be unyielding on your boundaries. Right? This is a time where I had found out I had like a shit ton of STDs from an ex-boyfriend who was cheating on me. And she was like, you should be unyielding with your boundaries. If something is not working for you, you should be able to say that shit and be able to move forward without it being a problem. So for me, in the back of my mind, I'm sitting there thinking like, you know what? I don't want to be with this cheating ass nigga no more. I'm not gonna yield. I'm not gonna right? So every time a nigga talked to me, cause he would call me after he cheated, and mind you, he knew he had the STDs. He just didn't tell me. Right? So mind you, I had to process that shit, and I went on YouTube and I talked about it, right? And I was like, he gave me like 4 or 5 STDs, right? And I talked about it. A lot of people was like, oh, bitch, you look dirty, you look filthy, you look disgusting, you look this, you look that. And, bitch, I ended up breaking one of my boundaries because I ended up talking about some shit that I was not emotionally ready to talk about. And I was just like, okay, well, if I'm not emotionally ready to talk about it, why would I put it on the internet? So when people was dogging me out, and mind you, I felt like it was my fault. I was like, damn, like, well, maybe it is my fault. Because maybe if I was a better girlfriend, bitch, I needed to fucking heal. That wasn't the time to go say no shit. Bitch, how many shots I had to fucking get? And I couldn't drink? Child. And this was before I was a stoner. And I couldn't fucking drink. Bitch, it was eating my ass up. When I say I was getting my ass ate up and not in a good way, bitch, I'm talking about like accountability was eating my ass. Damn, I really put this out there. I can't take it back now. Even if I delete it, I know motherfuckers gonna do it. Y'all, I had to literally accept the fact that I put myself in a position that I had not been putting myself in, that I was not ready for. So I had to take the backlash, bitch. Motherfuckers calling me nasty, filthy, disgusting, saying that if I was the better girlfriend, he wouldn't even cheat. Bitch, after a month after that whole incident, because people made me face a lot of shit I had to do, I was like, you know what? I fucked that up. I fucked up my own boundaries. I went to another thing, trying to control the narrative, trying to push something. And I said, look at me being a manipulative little bitch. Not only to myself, but to others around me, because I wanted him to feel the pain that he made me feel. Bitch, how dare you have 4 STDs and not tell me? How dare you say let's move in together? How dare you say let's build a family? How dare you do all these things and then be cheating on me still? How dare you play with my emotional well-being? Like, bitch, I had so many motherfucking questions. It was fucking ridiculous. If a bitch would have asked me how did I feel about some shit, I would have basically told the whole, I don't really know. I think that we might be able to work it out. And guess what? I went back to the nigga, believe it or not. Safe sex this time. Afterwards, got tested, came back clean. All this other stuff, y'all. And I still felt like, damn, the nigga is still the same nigga, and I can't fuck with him. Y'all, so guess what? I broke my own boundaries on myself. So it made me realize, like, bitch, trying to feel better and using a technique and not being unwielding on a boundary that I had, bitch, I broke it. And the boundary was, bitch, I told myself I told myself I'd never tell y'all bitches some shit I wasn't ready for. That I wasn't ready for the internet to tear apart and break up. Cause I know the internet is crazy. I know the internet's wild. I know y'all bitches get the internet courage to come online and say a bunch of shit that y'all would say to the bitch in they fucking face. And I was like, while y'all sitting there doing all that, bitch, I put it out there. I can't be mad at nobody but me. Motherfuckers ask me who shot me, bitch, it was me. Who shot you, bitch, it was me. And then it made me look at all my other friendships and say, bitch, when my friend didn't want to talk about her and her mom having beef, what did I make her do? I made her sit there and I made her tell me about it. And then when it got too much for me, I was like, ooh, girl, I don't really know what to say. Crossing boundaries, bitch. And guess what? Therapy's gonna make you mad. It's gonna make you happy. It's gonna make you sad. It's gonna bring out a lot of shit in you, but it's gonna teach you how to manage that shit and how to fucking move around. I broke a promise to my love bug, and I told him I would go to his recital, and I didn't show up. Not at all. Not even a little bit. And that broke his heart. I'm not gonna hold you. It broke his everlasting heart. And a part of me felt so bad for breaking a promise. But a part of me knew that, bitch, I should have figured it out. I don't give a fuck if you had the fucking whatever, bitch. You made a promise. And guess what? Therapy has showed me that, bitch, I can't undo what I did to him, But I can keep my motherfucking word. And if I can't keep my word, bitch, if I'm gonna make a promise, to try to keep my shit. And if I can't, bitch, I have to accept that I hurt a bitch feelings. Cause guess what? In the path of good intentions, and I didn't mean it like this, I'm just trying to do this, bitch. You can try to be on this. You can try to do whatever the fuck you want to do. But if the impact of your intent does not give off what it was supposed to give, and it makes something worse, you have to be extremely honest. Like, damn, maybe I need to go do some shit. Maybe I need to go get some help. Maybe I need to stop fucking projecting. Maybe I need to do whatever the fuck I need to do as a person for me to feel better. Cause, bitch, when you projecting and you're not happy, bitch, everybody sees it. You over there thinking that people are avoiding you because of X, Y, and Z. But, bitch, when you're not happy, everybody can see it. Don't nobody want to be around a fucking negative Nancy. Don't nobody want to be around somebody that's constantly hounding them like, I feel like, no, bitch. It's the reason why I don't talk to my grandma now. Cause, bitch, I don't feel like hearing how I'm not good enough for God again. It's the reason why I keep my relationships private and I share them with the world when I'm ready to. Because I know what comes on the other side of that shit. So when y'all have these deep ass, hard ass conversations and we're being completely and utterly honest, you have to be realistic with yourself. Because in life, you're not always gonna be on an up and up. Bitch, sometimes you're gonna have some low ass days, and sometimes some low ass days gonna feel like fucking eternities. And if you don't have any self-love or anything in the tank to pull you out, bitch, you're gonna be there for a while longer than you supposed to. Cause, bitch, when the light come, if you sunken down to the place where you can't even see light, and instead of attacking a problem, you attacking yourself and the others around you, bitch, you're not gonna be happy. I don't trust my uncle because he's that type of nigga that if something's eating him up, he's gonna project. And when he projects, he gets violent. Hence his history of abuse towards women and people who he knows that he can beat up. I've seen my uncle shoot at niggas who he knew wasn't gonna bust back because they had shit to lose. A nigga who ain't got shit to lose, I ain't never seen my uncle fuck with him. A nigga who with his baby or all this other shit, he fuck nigga, I'll shoot you right now. Nigga the man with his fucking kids, he ain't trying to get no motherfucking fist fight. The man is trying to keep his kids. A nigga who didn't give a fuck about his kids and none of that shit, I ain't never see that nigga pop off a gun and shoot shit. I ain't never seen a day in my life. But what I did see is a nigga go, cause he had issues and cause he didn't feel like he was a man. And he had mommy issues and shit like that. And he seen how me and my grandma was getting along. That nigga hated me. That nigga hated me because he was like, mind you, while the nigga was choking me out, I never told nobody this. While the nigga was choking me out right before I blacked out, he told my son, and this one cause my mama fuck with you and she don't fuck with me like that. And he shook me and tried to kill me. Hands deep down in my throat. I can't breathe. I'm like, let me go. Get your fuck ass hands off me. Get off of me. Bitch, da-da-da-da-da. Niggas hearing him say this shit. The nigga right before he thought I motherfucking died, cause the nigga got up and ran out the motherfucking house. Was like, bitch, and this for my mama liking you more than me. Cause who the fuck is you? You ain't even real family. As he was choking me the fuck out. Bitch, that's mama issues. That's deep-rooted mama issues that a nigga need to see a therapist for. And guess what? Since the nigga tried to kill me and got animosity towards me on some shit his mama did, fuck him. And fuck all that extra shit, bitch. I ain't gotta forgive a fuck thing, bitch. I hope he's in therapy. Bitch, I hope he's still not beating bitches. And if he is, bitch, I hope his ass go to jail. So he can't beat on bitches no more. But I really hope the nigga really get the help that he fucking need. But that don't mean I gotta fucking forgive him. Nah, nigga, that shit changed me. Cause mind you, I'm used to the women putting their hands on me in the family. I done had an auntie hit me with, I done had aunties and shit, but a grown ass nigga who was probably 3 times her motherfucking size. And nigga, bitch, at the time, bitch, I weigh 180 solid. 190 on a bad month, bitch. A nigga that's close to fucking 300, close, a little bit close to 400, cause he got like muscle, like he, bitch. If you think if you think I'm finna sit back and take that shit, bitch, no. I don't even let niggas put their hands on me in real life in the motherfucking streets. Let alone my uncle. Bitch, fuck that nigga forever. Fuck my grandma and fuck whoever don't fucking like me. Cause guess what? I don't have time to be sitting there babysitting and healing people when, bitch, I'm not the motherfucking problem. The problem is you. And the problem that you having with me is that I exhibit the things that you want to fucking do. So before y'all sit there and say like, oh, it's just mental health month or whatever, I don't really need that shit because I feel like I'm okay. Bitch, really check your motherfucking temperature. Are you truly okay or are you not? And before y'all come out there and be like, oh, I'm so depressed, I'm sad. Bitch, if you running from accountability, bitch, you always gonna be sad. Because even if you removed all the so-called problems in your life, you still have the same problems because the problem will be you. I had an uncle who was fucking broke financially. He had the skills to pay the bills, right? And mind you, it wasn't like he couldn't get the job in the interview. He just couldn't maintain a job because when he got the job, after cheating, lying, and doing everything to pass everything for the drugs, like drug tests and everything that he needed to do, the nigga would come late to work. The nigga would do this shit. When the people unionized, the nigga was making, when I'm talking about, when the nigga on a good month was making $12,000 a month, and that's after taxes. $12,000 after taxes. A little bit closer to $13,000 after fucking taxes. And he only had to work 40 hours a week. No degree, no what you call it. I'm not going to tell y'all what it is in the company because, bitch, nah. And the nigga couldn't keep it because he was a fucking drunk and a fucking crackhead. Oh, y'all bitches was, ooh. It was the system. They rioting. No, bitch, it's you. Because why the fuck you going to the job drunk? How you don't know how to process your emotions? My nigga, the problem is you. I had to admit it, bitch. When I'm telling y'all, when I was going through jobs after jobs after jobs, bitch, it was cause I was the fucking depressed. I was depressed. And a lot of this shit was me. I was taking jobs that I knew I was overqualified for and taking abuse, and I did not say what I needed to say because I was afraid to lose my fucking job. That's on me, bitch. That's on me, bitch. I'm taking abuse and I'm not saying anything about it, and then I finally snapping and I'm just like, well, nobody ever cares, bitch, because I didn't take the time out to do the shit I needed to, and I had all the resources to fucking do it. I called corporate on one of my managers. I got a shift switch. I called corporate again. Problems started arising, and I was like, I don't want to seem like I'm the problem. No, bitch, it was the problem with the job. And by the time they finally realized it's the fucking people, bitch, I had already done snapped and lost my motherfucking shit because what did I do? Because I was fucking afraid I was going to work afraid to lose my fucking job, bitch. That was my fault. Bitch, if I gotta come to a place where I'm afraid to lose my motherfucking job, I should have been there what I was supposed to do, and instead when they did little nice shit, instead of them like doing little nice shit for me and be like, well, you know what, maybe it's not that bad, bitch, I should have left when I first had the chance to. I fucked up my mental health for jobs a long time ago, bitch. I had to unlearn all that shit, bitch. Bitch, now, shit, I ain't settling for shit. I may need it, bitch, but I ain't settling. And if shit's not working out for me, bitch, I chop it up as an L and I'll be like, you know what? I need to figure it out. I need to do this. I need to whatever. But I no longer run from accountability. Accountability is just not whooping my ass because shit may not always be my motherfucking fault. But bitch, the shit I can control, bitch, I'm going to fucking control it. And I think that a lot of us need to control that aspect of our lives. And whether it's family, friends, the job, yourself, bitch, your kids, your finances, your love life, whatever the fuck it is in your life that's got you so fucked up. Cause I know some real niggas right now. If you put their family in front of their face, they'll choose family over everything else. And family will be taking them all the way down to hell, and everything else that they have will start dwindling, and they'll be like, well, my family's not fucking with me, so I'm really not myself, and I really can't put out all the work that I've done. Bitch, I know a motherfucker right fucking now. They got one of the best projects out there. I can't really say, because when they drop it on bitch, I'm gonna be that nigga saying like, woo, 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 chicka, 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 woo, 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 woo. So, bitch, let me tell you right now. They got one of the fierest, most projects out there. They were supposed to release it a couple of months back. They family came in, right? And they convinced her to go take back her toxic ex. Her toxic ex beat the fuck out of her ass. And now she's afraid to release the project. And I'm like, girl, I get it. Do what you need to do. But, bitch, when you release that project, bitch, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to have your back, and I'm going to be supportive. Because, yes, people fuck up. Yes, people make mistakes. But you have to learn how to love yourself. And you have to learn how to bounce back from that shit. And everybody can't be a motherfucking therapist. You gotta want to save yourself. You gotta show up for yourself. And you gotta stop fucking projecting. Bitch, if you wake up every morning and you're fucking miserable, the problem is not the others around you, it's you. Because guess what? You're going to be around some shit you don't like. And sometimes you're not going to be able to have the choice to just up and leave when you want to. So, bitch, if you don't know how to process, that's you. And you got to figure it out. So, whether you got to get a diary, a journal, whatever the fuck it is, do that. As long as you ain't hurting nobody else. And as long as you ain't projecting, and as long as you loving yourself how you supposed to, bitch, I'm here for it, bitch. Snap, snap, hooray, bitch. Cookies and ice cream. But this Mother's Day, bitch, if you're not feeling it, fuck it. Cause, bitch, I'm not feeling it. and it's not to say I don't love my mama, but, bitch, I'm still grieving my grandmother. I am. And that shit hurts. I still cry about it, bitch. And this Mother's Day, I want to kind of sit there with my partner if he's not at work, and I want to talk about my experiences with my mother, like fucking figures in my life, and I want to talk about that shit so I can go from there. Yes, I'm gonna tell my mama happy Mother's Day. Yes, I'm gonna get her some shit. Yes, I'm gonna pop up and I'm gonna do all the other good jazz and all that other whatever. But bitch, as far as sitting my black ass down and actually coming on camera like, happy Mother's Day, bitches, make sure you're mothering, get up, I don't have it in me this year. I really wanted to come on camera and be like, happy Mother's Day, bitches, but I can't. Because this year and probably next year, until I get fucking ready to, I'm just not there. Like for Christmas, I don't celebrate that shit. It's not my holiday. All that consumerism and spending money that you don't have, bitch, that's not my thing, bitch. If we doing Christmas, bitch, I will be happy with a dinner and a family celebration. All that, oh, we're gonna give gifts, and nah, bitch, I don't really need all that shit to feel loved. But my family does, so shit, I pop up. And that's compromise. That's practicing compromise, bitch. I don't really give a fuck about the gifts and shit like that, but bitch, I'm gonna come down there, I'm gonna be excited, I'm gonna be appreciative of it, bitch. It's some gifts that I have that I don't even fucking wear. But I keep it because it's sentimental value. And I know a motherfucker did it. And guess what? Compromise, bitch. I'ma wear it. I'ma rock it. I'ma fucking let the world know that you did this for me because I want you to feel appreciated. But at the same time, bitch, it's not my love language. So, I say go to therapy, get you some healing, do what you want to do. Happy Mother's Day, bitches. And I hope y'all really enjoyed it. Yeah, that's kind of it. I'm kind of done. Y'all, I know y'all like, bitch, what is this? Oh, braids, y'all. This is my thingy for like my braids. So, cause I'm lazy as fuck as a natural, I just braid the front part and then the back, y'all. And I do it like real, after I stretch out my hair, y'all. This is like a process, and then I'll wash my hair again. That's the secret to my hair growth, y'all, because I cut my hair like so often. Y'all, I think I cut like, I'm not gonna hold y'all, I want to say I cut about 3 or 4 inches of my hair off. Y'all, my hair is getting long again, and as much as I would love to have like the long hair fantasy, I just don't have the long hair fantasy commitment to it. And I can be honest with it. I can. Anyways, y'all, this has been the Mother's Day episode, mental health Mother's Day episode or whatever. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know I didn't get baked. I know I kind of went in and it was like, let me get my thoughts out on camera. But I hope y'all really fucking fucked with it, cause bitch, y'all see the look. Y'all look like a sexy potato, bitch. You can't tell me I don't look like a sexy potato. Bitch, I look like, hold up. Mrs. Potato Head ain't got shit on me. Shit on me. Mrs. Potato Head ain't got shit on me. Mrs. Potato Head ain't got shit on me. Y'all, but I look like a bad bitch. I'm a bad bitch in my bunny. Y'all, every time I do my makeup, my nose start running. What that mean? Like, sincerely asking. Like, I really don't know why. But every time I do my makeup, or it's too cold, and it's not even cold today, my nose just starts running. But I know why my nose runs when it's cold. But bitch, when I do my makeup, I don't know why my nose runs. It's so weird to me. But either way it goes, right now I'm rambling. I done said a lot. I'm gonna let y'all sit with it. But bitch, I'm a bad bitch. Ooh, I'm that nigga. I don't think you heard me. I'm a bad bitch. I'm that nigga. Alright, yeah, I'm done. But Mrs. Potato could never.